A quick review on an MP3 player for the automotive usage. It features a transmitter. This one's agile. You can actually set the frequency pretty much anywhere you want in the FM band. They seem to work better at the low end though. I don't know why. Intuitively I would think the high end would work better, but they seem to work better at the lower end. It might just be the quality of the transmitter. But music gear, and they come with a remote, and this is as you see it at let's see here, I think it even says in this one, some of the new ones have a little notice on them when you buy them at Dollar General, the yellow place. Yeah, Dollar General. They actually have a little badge at the bottom. I did buy one of these at Big Lots once, quite a while ago, for only $8. They're $10 at Dollar General. And they come with a little remote. This one's still got in the package. I got one out though. Let me grab it. A little remote, which, you know, for as cheap as the item is. But the remote is very directional. You have to get it lined up just right. It might work better at a distance, actually, than what I try to do. Sometimes it's nice to use the remote just so you don't jiggle the thing and accidentally unpower it and lose your place. You know, there is no bookmarking function. You can see the display's a little cocked on this one, because I dropped it once and the innards kind of went all funky. I kind of pried them back into where they should be as good as I could and snapped it back together. It's a little off still. So it's a cheap solution for me. They take an SD card, or you can put a memory stick in them. I've actually run both at once before. I'm not exactly sure how much these will map. You know, if you put a 32 card in, I don't think it'll map the whole 32 gig, you know, if you went to that extreme. They will map quite a bit though. Prior to this I used something called an iPearl, which I still have. I use it for skiing mostly now. It didn't have SD, you know, you had to program it through a cable, and it has its own lithium battery, and for automotive usage then I'd have to plug in one of these, you know, and hook up a USB cable to it just for power. And it didn't transmit as strong as these do either. So I actually built this antenna. This would plug into my iPearl and dummy load it. I've got two dummy loaded resistors at the T. This is actually a dipole antenna, which I would pull out of here, but it's kind of twisted in there. So it's like an FM dipole going the whole length of the window pretty much to a T and a balun and into this thing. No, I don't think there's a balun there. I'm staying corrected on that. I'm going to do a video on the details of that someday, but there's not much point because I don't really need it with these. They're strong enough where 95% of the time there's no interference. So my next clip I'll be showing these two units. This is the what I call the newer one in the next clip, but it's actually the older model, even though it's newer to me. And this has been working really well for me, even though I dropped it once. Got things kind of messed up. But it doesn't do the bang that most of them do. You know, a random bang. And this one doesn't do that. Although it is much simpler. Really, the other one, the display is so small that it'd be hard to actually read the track while you're trying to drive, you know. I don't really see it being that much difference in usefulness. I may try to pick another one of these up. That's probably why they got it so cheap, though. On, I guess Amazon, I bought this one, you know, for about $3.90 or something ridiculously cheap. So at that price, they can afford to be disposable. At 10 each, they were, you know, from Dollar General. That adds up. All right, this is the one I bought directly from Hong Kong, and you'll see if I pause it, I get the message PAU. Unpaused, it'll give me either the track number or give me the frequency. What's odd though is that it looks identical to the identical to the ones they sell at Save-A-Lot. Is it Save-A-Lot? No, I'm sorry, Dollar General. But this is actually a different unit. This one's been dropped once, so... Oh, actually the other one's been dropped once. You can see with this one, although it's so fine, it's kind of hard to pick out. But it gives you a lot more information, and gives you track name and all that stuff. Much smaller display. They're both sounding a little bit, as if they're transmitting a little bit weak. That's because I got distance between me and the receiver. They actually transmit pretty powerfully. They pick up real well in the car with very little trouble, unless you go near a station that's the same frequency. But you can see the display is different. Now, the problem I've had with these, that I never have had with this new one, the simpler display, is once in a while I get a big crash of thunder, like big bang out of the speakers. I've never gotten that with this one. I've had a high failure rate on these. There's another one I bought online directly from Hong Kong for under $10. I think it was about $6 or $7. It's kind of amazing they can package that kind of thing. It takes a while to boot up and then it starts playing. When I first got it, it motorboated. It didn't really play right. It just made a motorboating noise. And then I played it the second time I tried it. It played okay for a minute, and then it started motorboating. And to make a long story short, every time I play it, it works longer and longer, and now it just seems to work. I got a bunch of old radio stuff on this one. I want to have to put something different on it, now that it really works. But that one will even do MP4 files, so that's kind of amazing. For the money, they're amazing. But, you know, how cheap is it when you keep buying the same thing over and over again? And granted, it's been a number of years, but I have been through several of these. By the way, this is the packaging you'll see in Dollar General, rather. The yellow place. Comes with a little remote. It comes with a short jumper, too short of a jumper to really make it useful, to plug like a cassette player or whatever else into the side of the unit. But I've got a bunch of old ones that I've collected over the years, you know. These aren't all like in a short period of time. This one just fell apart on me, sort of. One of them just fell apart on me mechanically. Most of them fail electronically. And I believe that my theory is it might just be the voltage regulator that's dying on them, because the voltage regulator gets quite hot, and it's a very small voltage regulator. So one's mechanically broken. The other two popped, I think. Possibly voltage regulator. And then the third one had something else wrong with it. So after you buy that many, even if they're cheap, you got to consider the economics of it. It'd be nice if someone made a product like this that was actually durable and bulletproof. And the other thing I really like to see in an MP3 player is one that can pause in the middle of a track. They call it bookmark function. So they can pause in the middle of a track and then pick back up on that track, even though the power's been off, you know. These you can pause. You can pause them for hours. And I've done that before. They don't use much power.